Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, your empowerment coach. As always, helping you live better, love better, and be better. I am joined again with my amazing wife, Tarsha.
You're amazing too.
I am all that.
You are amazing compared to Lord Jesus.
Hold on.
All right.
Let me just listen. This is the Married at First Sight reaction review recap that we do. We have a lot of fun on this. So if this is your first time, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button, request notifications. That way you know every time that we are posting these, you're able to watch them and interact with us. Also, let us know in the comments your thoughts as we're going through this. Let me just warn you, I had to ask Tarsha to calm down because she's livid. All right, we'll jump into it. We'll start it off with an easy couple.
Sure.
All right. We'll start off with Ryan and Clara.
Okay.
All right. Not really a whole lot going on with them. They do have some good conversations.
Yes. I mean, they're really trying to get to know each other and I feel like they're trying to ask all the right questions, right? You know, they're trying to figure out how's your place compared to her place. Right. And then being honest. Well, I'm real messy. She says, I got a lot of clothes. I got a lot of makeup. I'm a flight attendant. My schedule's all over the place. And Ryan is that steady go-to guy. You come in today, he's doing the same thing.
He strikes me as someone who's very neat and orderly. He's probably that guy who has all of his Tupperware stacked in the right.
Yeah, it would be nice.
The right bowls.
Yes.
With the right tops, not just.
You know how that works.
So anyway. I'm not that guy that's going to have Tupperware categorized properly and everything. But Ryan seems that guy, and it's working for him, right? Yeah. And so they have even some compromise as far as how to divvy up some chores, because he's like, look, I don't even fold clothes. I wash it, I dry it, and I just throw it in the drawer. She's like, okay, I can fold them for you.
Yeah, so they're looking at each other's weaknesses, because he was like, okay, what are my weaknesses at home? Right. And so he identified some things so that she could say, oh, I could help with that. Right. And the opposite. So I think if they stay with that premise as they go back away from the honeymoon, then it sounds like they have a good head on their shoulders, that things can work out well for them.
And again, just remember, we're only really 3 days in.
Yeah, it's only like 3 days in.
The marriages, so.
And I think the main concern that's coming up for both of them may be religion. Yes. You know, and I'm having a question in my head is like, you know, he said he wants to raise his kids in religion and different things. But if that wasn't really high on his list, because I feel like we should think that the experts would pick someone who had the same
goals as far as
being high on the list, right?
I think for us,
but for her it's not.
Right, for us we each wanted somebody that was of the faith. Right, that's
equally what we believe and how we wanted to raise our kids.
That was at the top for us, right? Yeah. So in this situation where he is like, yeah, I think that it'd be good. I think it doesn't come off as highly important for him. He values it, right? But it's not highly important or a deal breaker. And she's just like, look, I want to at least let them try if they want. I don't want them to feel forced.
I think she's more open. Like, I really want my kids to be open with any area for them to explore. And I think that's for a couple to decide when it comes to their kids, how they want to, raise them. Because I think we talked about that a little bit, not at a major length, but I felt like because we were so instinct with one another about how we were raised and everything, that some of that became natural.
Exactly. All right. So that's pretty much most of the thing for them. Yeah. They seem to be going well.
Yeah, trying to hang out together. I've got good
predictions for them so far.
Hey, after they have their first hiccup, I guess we'll see how he reacts to how she reacts. Because she comes off very strong based off of some of the other high tense stress things she was in.
Exactly. All right. Then Virginia and Eric. So.
Yeah.
Listen, Virginia, we've mentioned it briefly. Yeah. But Virginia, she loves that brown liquor.
Yeah, she a soldier. She take it strong. She ain't correct her neck or nothing.
First of all, that was a Las Vegas shot, because normal shots aren't that big.
That shot was huge.
That was
like a 4-ounce cup.
She took it and just.
She took it to the head. before she even dumped it, she took that joker to the head. I was like, oh, I can't even hang with you.
Listen,
she was so.
But they get into some conversations that it could go either way, because she states that he's jealous, and he's like, no, I'm not really jealous. But then he starts to get very black and white about some things. Yeah. He's like, look, I don't believe that women can have male friends unless they're like the friend of your girlfriend or they're gay. Those are the two stipulations he gives.
I mean, and it's hard to say that because I've seen people cheated because with the other couple's spouse. So if they're your best friend, but the couple, at the end of the day, anyone can cheat.
If someone has a proclivity to cheat, they're going to cheat.
They're going to cheat.
Whether they're friends with the person, or whether they're
friends with the couple,
or in the case of one of the other couples, whether or not I'm really attracted to you, right? So they're going to sleep with who they want to sleep with.
That's true. I think he said, I'm going to trust you, and then when I can't trust you no more, then that's when he gave the look like I'm a handle it.
Yeah. So there, we do start to see him loosen up a little. He's still very stiff. Listen, Eric is still very, very stiff. Yeah. However, he's starting to loosen up a little bit, and then as we get towards the end of the evening, we kind of see he's drinking some of that same brown liquor that Virginia does. All right.
I think that's what they try to do, is to balance them out.
Yes. So. All right. And then Haley and Jacob.
I think he has just a very dry sense of humor, and he comes off very blunt. Right. So I think it's a little bit for her to get used to, especially when you've dated different people and they put someone else. But she sounds open. Yeah. Again, we can only see what we see on film. Right. We don't know what he's getting when the cameras are off. Right. And he's like trying to say, like, he's trying to figure out, like, is she into me or not? Mm-hmm. So it sounds like she's not really, maybe not communicating as much as maybe
she's still they're still filling each other out, period. Absolutely. Of course. They do get into a comparison of workout styles and what have you. Yeah. And he eats raw onions and,
I think he was picking with her, I think he was just he was joking.
But it's very dry. What was interesting was to see them with other people, with other couples. Mm-hmm. And, I think we were talking, I made the comment that they're not as awkward when they're in a group of people. So it's like, so I can say it feels like maybe the awkwardness is really just them getting to know each other and feel comfortable around each other. Yeah. And when they're in a group, there's divided attention away from each other. Right. So therefore, they don't have to try so hard.
Right. Because like during the dinner, I think he did something really romantic, right? So he had this set up in his head. We're going to watch Goonies. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to set up a dinner at the like aquarium,
the shark reef or whatever.
Yeah, so that they could see the fish and everything. Yes. So he kept the theme, and she was into wearing the glasses. Right. So I was thinking, well, if she's opening up to do something quirky and 80ish, then maybe there is some things there.
So I'm feeling better about them as a couple. Yeah, I think that I'm not giving them the full on. They're going to stick it out, but I think that they're progressing slower. But I think they're moving in the right direction. It
sounds like it, but we saw the clip. They always give you the trailer,
right? The drama, to keep you coming back the next week, right? And there's a lot of drama happening this season. Again, let us know in the comments your thoughts. Let us know your predictions as far as who you think is going to make it and who's not going to make it. Right? Yeah. Now, my couple, who I feel good about them. I'm digging them. I'm not going to call a couple who just got married at first sight relationship goals, because we are relationship goals for ourselves. 24, almost 25 years. But I like Vincent and Brianna.
Well, I like them too, but I'm wondering how deep are they going? And I know it's 3 days in, right? Right. You should be enjoying Vegas and getting to know each other, but also, are you asking those questions? They talked about kids and having kids and where they want to live and kind of things. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they are getting deeper and it's not surfacey, right? Because those first couple years is the honeymoon. Right. It's not the week. It's like the first couple years that it's just you. It's a honeymoon. I think even when you have kids, it's a honeymoon. Once you start being really,
once you start changing diapers,
I feel like it was we were 7 years in when we feel like we're really taking off every mask and being really
some
vulnerable.
respect. But when you tapping me on the shoulder to go get a diaper change,
who would tap you to go?
Over. I'm sorry.
Who would tap you? I don't care how much I know you. It's your turn.
By the way, we are very close to being empty nesters. We are loving that. All right. But yeah, they had, so grandma is okay for Vincent. His grandmother,
yes.
Last episode, there was a health scare. Thought there was a heart attack. Turns out she's okay. But it did serve to maybe help some of the connection between Brianna and Vince, right?
Right.
And they made it known that they have consummated.
Yes,
they are officially a union.
Yeah.
They had a good dinner. They're a good couple, it seems.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And then they even counseled our tragedy in the making.
Yes. Now, oh my God.
Do you want to dig into that couple first, or do you want to?
Well, I want to talk about, I like, and we don't see this all the time, but I like to see how Vince handled it very well with talking to Chris. I feel like he was asking him the right questions. Like, okay, bro. Yeah, this is how I feel, what I'm thinking I would feel if I was in your shoes.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you some questions. I need a timeline, kind of. Tell me how long. Did she know that you were coming on this? Yeah. You know, kind of fill me in so I know how to support you, where you played a role in this. You know, how is so-and-so thinking? Are you communicating with her? You know, so I felt like he was asking him all the right questions. He wasn't trying to judge him.
Right.
And at the same time, he wasn't dapping him up.
No.
So he was trying to really stay balanced to be supportive.
Exactly.
So I felt like, okay, if he could be that for someone else, I feel like that's something he's taken in his, going to take in his marriage.
Yeah, so I think I like Vincent and Brianna's. They seem to
chemistry.
Be their chemistry. They seem to be enjoying the process.
Yeah.
And really giving their all into the process.
Yeah.
Again, as far as what we can see so far. So they are my prediction that I think they're going to make it all the way through the end.
Yeah.
Based upon the trajectory. Now, is there going to be some hiccups? Absolutely. I think there's hiccups.
Marriage.
Right. It's life, right?
Right.
But I think that they are, at least at what we see, taking the right approach to it.
And Brianna did a good job. She said, I didn't want to project my feelings on her to make some decision.
Talking about Paige, right?
Yeah, talking to Paige, because she was talking to Paige about how I would handle it. I just wanted to be supportive. I want to pray for, just stuff like that. So I felt like for them being just married, here they are trying to assist.
They have their head on right as far as the right
Sounds like it.
All right. So then, the moment y'all been waiting on.
My God.
All right. Deep breath.
My God.
Deep breath.
Okay.
I'm serious. Take a deep breath.
I'm taking a deep breath.
Okay.
I'm
Chris and Paige.
I first want to talk about production. I am upset with the show. I feel like because they're experiencing so much at one point in time, and the producers are so aware, I feel like it has to be more about them as a couple and not you getting ratings on the show.
True.
Because that's the impression the producers are giving me from this show.
Right.
Because you done got hit once, you got hit twice. And I know in real life, unless you know to call somebody, it could be very high intensity for someone.
Well, let's catch people up on what's going on, because you just jumped into the deep end of this.
I am, because of that.
So we start off the episode with Chris drama, right?
Right.
So we see what looks like Chris is running around the hotel. Not running around, but he's kind of going in and out in productions. Like, are you going to tell her? Are you going to tell her? No, I don't want to tell her. Da da da.
Yeah.
Right. So, long story short, Chris claims that he found out that day that his ex-fiance, who he stopped seeing as of May, but still was sleeping with after that.
They had an interaction.
Because he went to pay respects to her father, who passed away.
Right.
So, and then they got together, led to things, and so now he's got a baby on the way.
Correct.
At the time of the filming, at the time of this, is basically
just getting married.
6 months. She's 6 weeks pregnant.
She's 6 weeks.
Right.
Correct.
So, but he's like, I don't want to tell Paige. He's like basically telling production's like, well, you said you were going to tell her. Now, here's the first thing I have a thing with. I don't think that he just found out that day. I believe he found out the day before,
Yeah.
When he had that whole, I'm having a panic attack. I believe that's when he found out.
That would make sense.
The timing of that seems more realistic to at least garner his reaction and his response that he had. Mm-hmm. So it's tomato in some respects. But to me, it's like, okay, I think that all of this is really stemming from one thing and maybe not two separate things. So I think that the fact that he found this news out forced him to start to look for a way to push her away by saying, you know what, I'm not really attracted to you. And I think that there's truth to that he's not really attracted to her, period. But it was really convenient and real easy to add that and then also come with the other news of, by the way, I got a baby on the way.
Well, and I think it's convenient that the production all of a sudden putting themselves in front of the camera and saying, oh, you need to tell her.
Right.
So that's very convenient. When you knew the brother just got out of a relationship, you shouldn't have him on the show.
Right. I think
that's my personal
opinion. I
think poor Paige was set up.
I know we're kind of jumping around, but I think Paige really has a case to say you all did not do right by me.
No.
Because a background check should at least reveal, if you're doing a background check and you're asking the right questions. And here's the thing. If you tell me that you've been in a relationship 6 weeks, 6 months prior to, and now you're saying that you're ready to be married to someone who you've not met, that to me would be a disqualifier, because at the end of the day, I don't know that you're ready to enter into a marriage whole because you still just got over this previous one, right?
And we have to assume, since the only thing we are aware of based off of what we're seeing, Chris never lies.
No.
He's pretty consistent. Now the timing of how things come out. So,
and if you watch his eyes, if you watch his face, if you watch his body language, he ain't got a poker face. Chris, they're in Vegas, but Chris better not go to the poker table because he will not. He will tell it all.
So I'm trying to figure out: did he mislead them, or they were aware and they allowed this to play out to see what was going to happen,
or they didn't ask the right questions,
because so something's missing there. But for them all of a sudden to start showing their cameras, showing their production, asking him to tell her, it almost feel like a setup to me. I'm just saying, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel, I feel concerned for them at this point.
Because you would think they would have learned the lesson from that previous one where the previous couple where
previous season
yes. Where the young lady, the couple was getting ready to go on their honeymoon and they had to hold off because one of them got arrested because there was a warrant out for their arrest.
There's a warrant for arrest.
So you would think that at that point you would say, hey, we're Lifetime. We've got some money.
Right.
We can afford a good background check.
Right.
I know, we as pastors, we get a FBI background check. We do different things to make sure that we are protecting our church. We're protecting our livelihood. We're protecting those things. So you would think that Lifetime would also do that same due diligence.
Right.
If not more.
Right. But I'm not going to put it past Chris that he shouldn't have gone. He shouldn't have gone.
Absolutely.
Especially, you mentioned this before we came on camera to talk about the recap, is that if he was saying that he was trying to keep himself, he should have kept himself longer when he applied for this application, saying, you know what, I'm not going to get involved with anyone, my ex or anyone else, because this could affect my future wife.
Right.
And even Brianna and Paige were talking about this. Brianna was very honest, saying, girl, you need to think about you.
Right.
And you need to think about you, because maybe Chris wasn't thinking about his future wife, so you need to have been thinking about you.
Right.
So I'm not letting him off the hook.
Right.
But I feel like when
there's multiple issues. If we're going to lay fault, if you will, right? If we're going to lay fault, Lifetime and the producers have fault. Chris has fault. And here's what we may not want to talk about and deal with. Paige has fault. Not necessarily in the lead up to this, but how she responds to this and her response. Because one of the things also, because again, we're jumping, but one of the things that Paige keeps saying that I take some issue with is this is all part of God's plan for me. That God never put one there. Let me help you from a pastoral standpoint. There is no scripture that says God will never put more on you than you can bear. That is not a scripture. God allows us to endure things because he wants us to reach out to him and to call on him.
But if you're going to make that statement, then you need to read the scripture, how it reads.
I'm just giving the basics. Okay?
I know. But if you're going to say that, then you're going to have to find the scripture. But I hear what you're saying, but I feel like what she's trying to portray is that, okay, I signed up for this.
I give her that, yes.
You know, because I'm trying a different way to find love like everybody else. But I think she's trying to navigate through her faith with it.
And her emotions.
Mm-hmm. And so she's like, well, I put myself in this situation. Yes. God didn't sign her up.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
God did not sign her up. She filled it out. She filled out the test. Mm-hmm. So that was her decision because we are not drones. We are people. We have free will. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I get you saying that, but I think she's trying to navigate with her faith to keep like, okay, I did put myself in this position.
Right.
And how can with my faith I work through this? Now, I don't believe God keeps you in a relationship where you're supposed to be verbally, physically abused, emotionally abused.
Nope.
I don't think that is God's will for any man or woman.
Not at all.
Not at all. What her decision needs to make, because she even says it. I was in a relationship with someone had a child, but I just met you.
Right.
We haven't had time to know if we're going to work because you, Chris, came in after just being in a short period of time with a ex-fiance that you still slept with after you broke up, leading into you finding someone. Now, yeah, we would have hoped he was mature enough to say, you know what, maybe I'm not ready to do this when they presented the opportunity to him. And then she might have had another choice. Yeah. But she didn't because he said yes. Yeah. So she's kind of stuck in a mix. So, but I just want us to be careful about saying her fault. Like she plays this.
I think so. When I say fault, what I'm saying is that you can only be a victim one time in this type of a situation, because then if you continue on unaware. Because she makes the statement, she's like, if this is what 4 days looks like, what does 4 months, 4 weeks, 4 years looks like? So I'm not saying that we're going to point the finger fully at Paige. However, knowing where things are right now, she has to make a decision. How will she respond to this? How will she react to this? How will she move forward with it? So I applaud Paige for the fact that she's
very mature.
She's saying, I signed up for this. This is what I signed up for. This is what I went for. I'm going to see how this process ends up. Because at the end of the day, they still have the 8 weeks. She's not, is she losing something by continuing the process, knowing that if it continues down this path, at decision day, she's going to say no, because that question even came up. Yeah. She was like, if it were decision, or Chris asked her if it's decision day, what would you do? And she was like, I'd have to walk away. Right. So she doesn't necessarily lose anything except this process.
Right. And I think he makes the statement, and we hope that he holds to it, because based off of what we're seeing, he hasn't been able to hold to his statement. But the statement was by Chris that, hey, let's build on a friendship. Yep. Let's be friends. Let's try to work through all this, because I'm trying to work through all that. Right. You know, everything that's come to me, which sounds good. Like you said, sounds good. That sounds good, but he doesn't seem to follow through. Which could be the case. Right. So if she's thinking in her head, I only know you for 4 days, dude, and your past has caught up and passed our relationship. Right.
It has dropped a nuclear bomb into our relationship. Your
past has passed us.
The house just got the framework up.
Right.
Or, excuse me, not even that. The foundation just starting to get laid.
Right, and it won't dry.
You already hit it with arson and everything.
And it won't dry. Right. So, last statement. Good. So I feel invested like they're my kids. I'm thinking for her. If I was her, and I'm saying, okay, I'm working through this because I really don't know you. if she keeps in mind, I'm gonna keep you in the friend zone,
Right.
because I know in this
In other words, stop sleeping with the man. Sleep in the same bed, but don't be consummating anything else right now.
I don't think I could sleep if we already did it. We done did the do. I may not couldn't sleep in the same bed with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to say, if Chris, you're saying that we need to build on our friendship, and I'm saying I agree to that.
Yep.
Then what I'm gonna do is gonna decline, and like, you can have the bed. I'll sleep in another room, and let's build on the friendship.
Right.
Because I don't know how you feel. At one moment, you could say, you know what? I don't want to be with my ex-fiance. I'm good with us co-parenting and everything. But we even seen in the trailer, he's wavering on maybe knowing that. So to keep my feelings, I'm putting my wall up, man.
Yes. So Paige has got to, in my opinion, put some walls up, put some boundaries up, and say, if we're going to build a friendship, let's build a friendship over these next 8 weeks. Now, if I can trust you, and I don't have more issues coming up, like you losing your Subway restaurant, which that's another thing.
That happens.
You
we don't know if we got any income.
Right. Who knows what his income situation looks like, what have you. So if I don't have anything else come up, we can see where we are at the end of this process. But I would say Paige definitely needs to make sure that they don't continue an physically intimate relationship going forward. And then can we just talk about the prayer?
His grace.
Because, she was like, can you say grace? Oh, we're not going to say grace? Thank you for this food. Amen. Listen.
Well, think about it. He's overwhelmed.
Listen.
I don't know. I can't.
Now, if he spent the other 48 or other 23 hours and 59 minutes praying, and I get it that this might be the only prayer he wants to toss up, cool, but
I don't know, because at the point, this is the time he don't want to talk about it. He's been grilled about not talking about. I don't know. But the way she looks at him when she asks him to pray indicates to me maybe he hasn't been praying over his food.
But also, remember, her thing was she wanted a man of faith as well.
Right.
So then, you tell the story of how you were with someone, you were dating someone, and you asked him to pray, and
I
it was just like...
pray. And I don't think he even prayed. I was like, what? And so to me...
No, we're not talking about a full-on 5-hour prayer over food.
I'm just asking, can you communicate with the Lord?
More than good bread, good meat, let's eat, right?
Right. But it's the way she looked at him.
Right.
Like, it's something... So I'm trying to take it as, is something going on because you didn't pray like that before? Because I know they ate before then.
Right.
So, or I don't know, maybe she was praying over the meal and gave it to him. I have no clue. I thought that was funny, I'm not going to try to make a big deal because we got other fish to fry.
Right. There's a whole lot going on.
There's a lot more going on. I wish that was the only thing he couldn't do.
At the end of the episode, basically you have all the couples coming together, hanging out. Yes. So, you go ahead and watch it. Let us know your thoughts.
The producer set them up.
But yeah, you have the other couples. So you have Virginia and Eric. You have Ryan and Clara. You have Vince and Brianna, and then you have Chris and Paige. And everybody's like, "Oh, we're happy. We're working through. Oh, this is so great. This is so awesome."
Did a great job.
And the body language between Paige and Chris tells the story.
It's true.
And so they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And so
Paige was very diplomatic.
She didn't blurt it out. She didn't. She was like,
Chris handle it.
If you want to let them know, let them know. Mm-hmm. People are going to find out.
So you might as well
control the news your way.
Control the news.
So he does. He lets the information out. And here's the thing. Folks are supporting Paige because Paige is, if we're honest, the injured party in this. Mm-hmm. She is the one who has been hit with a left, a right, and an uppercut, right?
Right.
So he gets upset because they're giving their attention and their condolences and sympathy and empathy to Paige and not to him. He's like, but I'm the one who got a baby on the way. And it's like, okay, but you signed up for this with that potential. Right. She got married at first sight thinking that this was going to be a relationship she could enter into as with a whole person. Right. So he goes off, he cries, he has a little breakdown, what have you.
Because he's overwhelmed. He's just overwhelmed.
Right. And again, Paige does a good thing. She comes, she checks in on him. she's like, look, she basically is like, we let me help you through this. Is kind of what
Right.
I get from her. She's like, let's walk through this.
Right.
So Paige is still making that effort and that
Right.
that attempt.
She's a kind person.
They come back, and then
Eric
and Virginia, yes.
show up lit.
Now Virginia, we know. Again, we told y'all earlier. She takes her brown liquor like a soldier. She just
like a sailor. She on it.
But it looks like she got Eric to drink a little too.
Eric ain't himself.
They are rambling on and on,
right, because they're late.
Right.
It sounds like she's always late, and she told Eric she's always late.
Yep.
And so they come in unaware of what's going on as far as between Chris and Paige and the awkwardness. So Chris says, okay, this is what you missed.
Yep.
And they're trying to be supportive.
Yes.
But because they got a little courage in them.
They ask Now, I don't have an issue with the questions they asked. Some of the questions they asked.
I don't have questions.
When she asked, is it yours? It's a valid question.
I felt the question was valid because you're not together and everybody grown. So, and I'm not saying nothing about anybody, but
I don't know her. I don't know him.
I don't know her. I don't know him.
We see him.
But I would say it's a valid question.
It's a very valid question.
But what I would say is like, well, as far as I know,
I just found out yesterday. Yesterday or today, whenever he found out.
And as far as I know, she hasn't been with nobody else. So that's why she's telling me it's mine. So right now, I'm going to say it's mine. Right. But when you're already heightened and over the moon and where you are, it just puts more salt in the room. Yep. And then they were like, well, y'all still can get to know each other. Y'all got 9 months, Again, I was like, y'all timing.
That one was funny. I'm sorry.
Their timing was off.
The timing on that question was off. That statement, y'all still got 9 months to work it out. I'm sorry. I cracked up laughing with that.
And again, because they had a little bit too much to drink.
Yep.
They were a little tipsy. But again, you're in Vegas.
Yep.
So, but Paige is like, oh my God, this man is he's gonna explode. He's gonna explode. But again, Chris handles it well. He's like, I don't want to make it a zoo. I don't want to make it about us. Different things like that. I commend them from trying to keep going.
Right.
But again, sometimes I feel like the producer's trying to put on a show. They're trying to be a part of it. But sometimes I feel like, who's going to be the adult to help them and say, you know what? It's okay, guys. Excuse yourself.
Right.
You've been overwhelmed with emotion.
In 72 hours. So, all right.
That's me. I'm not in TV.
Right. We good?
I'm good.
You good? Got it all out?
I got to pray for him because I feel bad. I feel bad for her.
Yes.
I don't know how honest he was with his pastor because he came to his pastor saying, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm trying to keep myself and my wife. So, but again, I just want to say to people, like, people can't help you if you're not willing to be totally transparent. Because it sounded like even his pastor he talked to felt like he was going to give him good advice if he shared everything with him.
Right.
He didn't mention to his pastor, at least on camera,
that we saw. Right.
That we saw that he had slept with the girl. He's like, well, this is the reason why I'm trying to keep myself.
Right.
Because I've been with this girl 6 weeks and now I'm about to get married and this don't look right.
So, all right. Well, look, we have talked your ear off for a while.
But listen, this is how we talk before we ever had a camera.
These are our conversations.
So.
Y'all just getting a sneak peek into how we have been watching this show from the time we started watching.
I'm praying for him.
But listen, we appreciate y'all stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, request notifications. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. I'm just going to give my predictions real quick. And what I'll do is every show, I'll give my predictions based upon where things are. So Ryan, Clara, I say they're on track. Could be a good couple at the end. Okay. Virginia and Eric, I'm iffy. I'm kind of halfway on them. I don't think that they'll make it to the end, just where we are right now. I think I see too many potential red flags.
Nah, I think they're getting the red flags out of the way so that they can go neutral.
We'll see. So. All right. Chris and Paige, they're done. They're done. they're done. I don't see that lasting. All right, Vince and Brianna is my MVP so far. I think that they're the ones that are going to make it all the way to the end.
I don't know.
I think they'll.
There's going to be a bomb that finally hits.
Jacob and Haley, I think they're awkward enough to just stick it together by themselves. So that's just my thoughts at this time.
Yeah,
we'll see. All right. Again, let us know in the comments what you think. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.